All right, Diego, thanks for joining us today. I know this isn't necessarily the topic you want to be talking about at this point in the season, but can you kind of take us through how we got to this point and the releasing of Olaf Melberg earlier this week?
Yeah, so obviously we are now 15 games into the season, close to halfway through, and we've seen just really poor results. You know, we are 14th out of 15 in the West. We've gone 11 games without winning, and that's not good enough. You know, it's not good enough for our club, and it's not good enough for our fans. We have to make tough decisions sometimes, and this was the moment to do it. We need to look forward and think, what are our best chances of being able to get future results, independently of how long a head coach has been here? And we thought the right decision was to let him go and to move on.
Why was right now the right decision and not earlier in the winless streak or even maybe a few weeks down the road as well?
Yeah, this is all evaluated on a constant basis. You know, I would say if you think back, there are some elements that made it important as to why to wait a little longer. The first is he was hired 6 months ago. Obviously, you need to give a head coach enough time to be able to see what his ideas are and also see some of the performances and results that come with that. He also had a very strong start. You know, the first 4 games, we had 2 wins, 2 draws. We were doing great in terms of results, and we're seeing some improvements in parts of our performances. So he had a little bit of credit from those 4 games. And then, of course, we had some injuries also during that winless streak. You also have to take all that into consideration as you're trying to make this decision, which is not an easy decision to make. But after having seen those 11 games progress, just didn't see enough from the perspective of the performances to really give hope that that was the way to continue and see a turnaround in results.
In your press conference on Thursday, you mentioned you guys mentioned it's not just an Olaf Melberg problem. There's more people that go into you guys struggling to begin the year than just the head coach. What do you guys as an organization need to do better through the rest of this year and really for the future?
Yeah, that is the right way to look at these decisions. You know, everyone needs to feel partially accountable and responsible for these decisions. I have that responsibility, Lutz feels that responsibility, players feel that responsibility, coaching staff. You know, all of us are parts of an organization that need to be able to contribute towards our goals, sporting goals, business goals, fan community goals. So we look at anything that happens when our results aren't going well and look at ourselves first and say, how can we be better? Then, of course, from our perspective, we have to take responsibility of making some of the tough decisions and say, what decisions can we take now that can help us course correct? And the head coach is the leader of the sporting team, making the player selections, inspiring the team to be better, leading all the coaching sessions, preparing the game plan. So that is an important lever that one can pull in moments like this. We felt it was the right thing to do, and we're looking forward.
Unfortunately, about this time last year, we're kind of having the same conversation. You guys been through this process not too long ago, looking for a new head coach. As you look for a new head coach to replace Olaf Melberg, what are you guys looking for as a staff, and how do you not repeat history with what happened last year?
We're talking about that a lot, obviously. You know, we did not expect to be in this position so soon after appointing a new head coach. We will go back to some of the key things that we looked for. You know, we will be looking for a head coach that fits with the style of play and the identity of this club. That is something that we don't want to change, and that is important. We will therefore open the pool both to MLS head coaches and to head coaches international, and to try to find that. And we will use the right process of both technical evaluation of those coaches and their style of play through, of course, Lutz leading there when it comes to both observing his games, but also interpreting the data and what it tells us in terms of the fit with our style of play. Even having more back and forth conversations around our players, our squad, you know, can they fit with the model that the head coach wants to do? And we hope to be able to be more successful in the next appointment. That's all we can do. We need to go back and see what we think we might have missed and then go at it again. The reality still is that head coaches last between 1 and 2 years. That is the norm. So, you know, we would love to be in a more stable sporting environment where we have head coach that is around for 4 or 5+ years, but the reality of this business isn't that. Are there some teams that have that? For sure. Would I love to be an organization that could have that? Of course. That does provide stability, and stability helps. But at the same point, that isn't the norm, and we have to be prepared to bring in head coaches and make tough decisions, even if it is in that 1 to 2 year time horizon.
I think getting to know City through its kind of birth here in St. Louis, and in your position as well, I think you realize this, that City's much more than just a soccer team. You guys in the community, what you do here at Energizer Park. But what happens on the pitch is a big part of who you guys are and what you do in this community. How would you address fans when we ask the questions, what's the state of City SC right now?
I mean, I would say, you know, when you drive around the city now, you see a lot of these signs that say "bigger than soccer," with our crest and a photo of one of our players. I think that's a reminder for me, but hopefully for everyone as we come to this beautiful stadium, what the overall goal of the club is. But at the same point, we cannot be bigger than soccer if the soccer is not good enough. And right now, the soccer isn't good enough. So we will continue focusing on trying to improve the sporting product, the sporting results, even the sporting identity, and hope that the rest of the components of having an amazing stadium that is full, with a fan base that is engaged and is, you know, deeply connected with the club, and of course doing good for our community, whether it's specific things like helping with the tornado relief efforts or trying to play a bigger role in redeveloping this area of downtown. All of those things matter. But we won't be able to be bigger than soccer and to really convert the owner's vision into reality if we aren't able to be better on the field.
In times like this, I think sometimes people can struggle to see a glass half full. But for you, what gives you optimism for the future of this club, not only the rest of this season, but moving forward?
I mean, I would hope that everyone, even in difficult moments like this, where emotions, of course, are high, can have a little bit of distance also and remember where we are. You know, we are a club that has just started its third season. Of the last 2 seasons, we had one incredible season. We have had we had a big turnaround in performances and results halfway through last season. So I know it feels difficult. It feels difficult for me when we go 11 games without a win and you look at the table every morning. But that is not the same thing as saying that there is no hope and there are no specific reasons why one can believe in what this team can do. We believe in the players, we believe in our staff, we hope our fans can come and support us. And yes, we are frustrated with where we are at, but we are deeply committed to making the right decisions, and we will keep working towards those.
All right, Diego, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.